figure fans, it's the one and only optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the support of my patron Adam, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Studio Series Voyager class Sentinel Prime. For the package, much like all the Studio Series figures, you got that nice open window that fully showcases the figure. You got the Transformers text along the side with the Generation logo. And then obviously this is Sentinel Prime as he appeared in the Transformers Dark of the Moon film. Interestingly enough, you can see that they have him branded as a Decepticon. They did that with the original ones as well. He really wasn't a Decepticon. He was just a very misled Autobot, I guess. The side here has an up-close image of him. The other side here has a more pullback image. Again, you got that weird Autobot logo there. I wish they would change that. That would be nice. You come around to the back of the package, you can see that he transforms in 32 steps. And you got images of him in his robot as well as his official, I don't know if I'm going to say that right, Rosenbauer fire truck mode. And then has a 1-sentence read-up that says Sentinel Prime battles his protege to ensure the survival of Cybertron. I mean, like I said, he is an Autobot. He's just extremely misled in what he believes is necessary to end the war. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Sentinel Prime open up out of his packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. And this is an absolute wonderful representation of a Rosenberg, however you say it, fire truck. They nailed this look. Now the original Voyager class and Leader one also did a tremendous job, but it was really that robot mode that kind of took away from his overall appearance in the film. What I remember mostly about it was just good enough. This guy, though, really does take it to a whole new level. Now, as always, he does come with the backdrop. I haven't shown a lot of these, but this is the same one that we've gotten with a lot of the Dark of the Moon figures. You got the absolutely battle-ravaged scene right there. It kind of looks like it's a bridge, so maybe this is the bridge where actually Optimus and Sentinel and subsequently Megatron all fought. Either way, who cares? Vehicle mode-wise, though, like I said, great job here. Primarily done in this very, I don't want to, maybe gunmetal gray color? I don't know what color really to describe that. It's not black. You can kind of see that the tires are black, and this has a little bit of a brown tinge to it. So, like I said, not fully black. And then you got the nice red here along the side. One thing that I will say, though, is based on the way that some of these lines are on him, kind of makes it look like everything. I mean, I guess it kind of is zigzaggy, but I don't know. It kind of looks weird. Makes it look like he's not straight, and he is. So that's slightly weird. But you got the 316 logo right there, which if you're a wrestling fan, and ironically enough, I'm actually wearing an Austin 316 t-shirt right now. That's awesome. You got the Rosenberg logo right there on the side in a nice silver paint. Right on top of this, a nice white strip. You got that silver logo right there on the side there as well. You got coming around the back, some nice molded in detail with the ladders. The top section here has a lot of nice really molded in detail as well. You do have his fire hose. It can't rotate side to side, unfortunately. It can go up and down, and then you got another hinge point right there, but a lot of great molded in detail right in there with the actual hose detail and stuff. You also have that right down here as well. Again, I mean, overall, absolutely beautiful amount of detail throughout this entire piece. Got a clear window right here that when you look at it, it does show a lot of empty stuff, but I do like how it's kind of tinted, so it's not too bad. Bottom section actually cleans up pretty nicely. Overall, you don't really get an impression that this is a robot by any stretch of the imagination. You can put that right back down there. That locks it into place. Now, people have talked about the size of it, and that the Leader one is far superior because it's a bigger figure. It is a bigger figure, and I do wish that this was a little bit bigger. Not by much, though, and the reason I say that is when you look at the scale guide, when you take a look at Optimus and Sentinel, this is just about right. Sentinel is a little bit bigger. Now, that's true here with the figure as well, lining them up as much as I can. Sentinel is a little bigger. He should be a little bit more bigger, like maybe like out to here. And then obviously, looking at the sides, I mean, he's going to be a wider vehicle as well. And that's not really kind of depicted here in terms of a toy. My personal belief is that while I love this figure, I really do wish he was a hair bigger. Not a lot, just a little bit bigger, which then would have been more accurate in terms of his size for obviously vehicle mode. He was a little bit bigger in terms of robot mode than Optimus. But the other thing that people have talked about is that he doesn't really come with, well, here, let me finish up with the comparisons, I should say. But I do feel that if he was bigger, you could have sold him at that leader class price point like Megatron here. I mean, this guy is huge, much bigger than Sentinel, which again is fairly accurate for the size, although that's supposed to be there. I mean, again, that works. And in terms of a robot mode, he is also a little bit bigger, which again works. But I do wish that he was scaled a little bit bigger and sold to us at that leader class price point. The reason I say that is because if you make this figure a little bit longer and a little bit wider, I feel they could have found out a way to include his shield and allowed you to store it on vehicle mode. Unfortunately, he doesn't come with his shield. He comes with his sword, and you'll see that here in a minute because that's actually part of his side panels here. Hint right here. And I feel like a lot of people would have been happy getting his shield as well. And I think with a slightly bigger figure, maybe you could have had it attached or something to the bottom. Now, again, people are going to be like, but Paul, the leader class price point, you know, adding a shield, that's too much. Blah, blah, blah. But I feel like if you had a bigger figure, the inclusion of the shield, which could store, you also would have created more space up here. So maybe you could have those little containers as extra accessories with the pillars. Maybe give them a couple of those as well. Again, all of that could have been accomplished if you made him a little bit longer and a little bit wider, because there's not a lot of space up here, but you could have put, like, if you made it a little bit wider, you could have put like one here, 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 here. You could maybe put one there, you know, give him the 5 pillars. I mean, that's just an idea, personal preference, but overall, really very, very nice. Now for his transformation, first, like I said, you do have these little bits right here. This is where his sword stores, so you kind of want to pull from the bottom and then pull away. Do that on both sides here. I think, now people are going to be like, oh, parts for me, but I think that this is incorporated nicely and kind of works. The only thing that sucks is when you attach them, you do have those pieces right there of paint. I mean, that side looks perfectly fine. That looks more like a sword. I do wish there was some extra detail, but I can imagine why they wouldn't have put that there, because then you would have had to have put it on this side. So while this side here does look like panels of a fire truck, these actually look really nice on this side. So now set that off to this side like so. Then you kind of want to loosen all this stuff up here. Everything kind of tabs in. So just kind of wiggle everything. You got a whole bunch of different tabbing points right here that lock everything into place. So we're just going to hinge that up like that. Come down here to the legs. You want to separate right down the middle and kind of pull that out just like so. This little piece here, get that kind of out of the way. Let's bring that out. There we go. Just kind of get some space. You pull this piece up. Get that out of the way. You're more accurately, you're pulling the bottom piece down. So then as you do that, then rotate that lower section around, and then you can bring that right back in. And then you got a little tab here that's going to lock into the hole right there. So bring that in, give that a nice little push. Fold out the foot like so. Take this back piece here. You want to collapse this. I'll get this out of the way. Collapse this, and then this comes up, and then you got a ball joint right here that allows you to rotate this around and kind of manipulate this a little way. This one's kind of tight in mine, and then on the inside here, right behind where the ladder is, you got a little tab that's going to come up and lock into the side of his leg. So just move that around. And like I said, mine is really stiff, so just push that in there, and then you have one leg done. So again, on this side, and you're going to pull this piece away, kind of separate that tabs in really securely. So pull that, there we go, pull that up just like that. Then again, rotate this back piece around. Now you bring the tires from the outside to the inside, which is nice. And then again, collapse that down, bring the foot up like so. Get that straightened out. Take this back panel, fold that in, and then this, again, you're going to rotate this back and then rotate this around and then lock that in along the side of his shin just like so. And there you have his legs done, which they're a little bit big, but it's not bad. And take this entire section here, going to, oh well, no, let's actually detach all this. So take this,
fold this back, lock that down, and then you want to detach these. These are all going to lock in along the side, and then swivel this out. So pull that down and then swivel that around like that. Take this whole back or this front section. You're going to have to separate this. That's a little bit tricky to do here. Well, let's take these, tuck those down. I think that's a great little touch right there. So just kind of there we go. Pull that up just like that, and then hinge that down. You can take that, tuck that down. Now that loosens all this up. You can then rotate the upper section around, fold that all the way down, just keep that out of the way, then bring everything here, and then this will accordion down, and this, get that out of the way, this waist section here locks into place. Rotate the head section all the way around, bring this piece around. You got the little slots and tabs and everything. You just line all that up, get that straightened, and then that will, if you have it properly lined up, will collapse in. There we go. Locking that in right there on both sides. Rotate these bits all the way around. That will, you got a little tab and slot section right here. Just push that in there. And again, give that a good squeeze. Do that there. And give that a good squeeze as well. Rotate these arms down. And then this collapses in on his chest, filling that in very, very nicely. You can take these, bring these up, bring that up, straighten out his hands, come around here to the back section. This right here, you want to collapse down. You got a little tab right here that locks everything. That's his little butt plate. So do that. This piece here, split this, creating his little back wings. Now this doesn't really lock into place. That's kind of unfortunate. It just kind of sits right there, but it's not terrible, I guess. And straighten it out. And then the last bit is like right here on the side, you got these little side skirt pieces. They're a little bit tricky to get out. Gonna collapse that down, pull that out, there we go. Do that on both sides. Straighten out his legs, get him standing there, and when you're done, there you have Sentinel Prime in his robot mode. And god dang it, this is a cool toy. I mean, I get the whole, you know, the leader class one was really well done. You had lights, sounds, all that stuff was incorporated into it. But honestly, for my money, this is a far superior figure. The look of him is just absolutely fantastic. One of the most improved aspects would probably be the proportions of him. That leader one just had like a huge upper body. I mean, he didn't have that bulky of an upper torso in the film. This really does nail that more slender kind of look so much better. Now, I want to come in because one of the other really impressive things about this guy is, again, all the detail that is on him. I mean, look at that head sculpt. That is absolutely fantastic. You can see all the extra detail in his actual face, such as his little beard and mustache. You can see that very clearly. All the line work really giving him an old look. I love the fact that he's got the blue eyes on there. Obviously, the red throughout. You got the little side bits here, very much like Optimus Prime. But that's not it. I mean, look at all the detail in that area. I mean, all of it is amazing. The chest section here is so much more movie accurate than that, but really than any of the previous versions. I even love the extra little detail right here. That was a really fun asymmetrical thing that Sentinel Prime had. I have no idea what it is, but it looks cool. But throughout the entire thing, look at all that sculpted in detail. The arms look fantastic. I love how they got the little tire right here. I mean, because that was a movie bit itself. The only part that I think could have been improved upon is, if I'm not mistaken, these little bits here were red on him. You got some of the red bits on here, and can we talk about that? That is a gorgeous, very glossy red color. I mean, super freaking awesome on the entire figure. Again, looking at the legs get a little bit bulky. It's not terrible, I don't think, but it is worth noticing that they do get kind of big. Now, like I said, weapon-wise, he only comes with this sword, which is nice. I like it. You have to have it split in half like that so you can put it through one way and then put it in there. I do like having it. I do wish he came with that shield. That would have been nice. Or hell, even his acid cannon. I mean, I don't know, honestly, why they didn't bring it. I mean, I guess you could use any one. I mean, you could use... No, that's a little bit too small. That's Bumblebee's gun. I don't know. You can... And that's... Yes. I mean, I guess you could make any kind of gun work for him. Here's that. I mean, that doesn't really work all that well. So, I mean, it is kind of unfortunate. I do feel that the scale works nicely. He should be a little bit bigger than Optimus. Let's do the comparisons. Because I still believe that if you made him a leader figure, you could have included a lot of those extra accessories. Here he is with the Voyager class Optimus Prime. And, you know, I mean, he is a little bit bigger, but I feel like he should be a smidge taller. I think that, well, no, I want to say that he was supposed to be like 28 feet tall. He's supposed to be 30. So I guess proportionately, that's about right. And then, of course, Megatron in Dark of the Moon was gigantic. I mean, Megatron in general is gigantic, but I feel like he should be a little bit closer to Megatron's size. Now, you can even make him taller. I have, obviously, his legs bent in that more squat look that he's supposed to sort of have. So, I feel like he should be a little bit bigger, like if he was that tall. I think that would keep him a little bit bigger than Optimus and on the same par as Megatron. I feel like that would have been a little bit better of a scale. But look how great that looks. I mean, can you believe, honestly, that we're getting figures this good? It blows my mind when I really think about it. Articulation wise, the head is a little bit limited. It can only really go about that far because his little goatee thing kind of gets in the way. It kind of looks up and down a little. The shoulders are on swivel, so you can go all the way around, up and down like so. It does have a swivel at the elbow. You got a bend here at the elbow as well. Wrists can rotate, which is nice. This hand does the exact same thing. He does have a waist rotation, although the bits right here kind of get in the way. Let me see here. And then, I mean, yeah, the tires kind of get in the way. Not really much you can do about that. These little bits can articulate out. You can really kind of flare that out however you want. I kind of do wish you could angle those a little bit more. And I mean, I even like how on the inside here you can see all the different kind of layers with it. That was something that the little wing thingies that he had, I mean, you could see. So that's a nice attention to detail on there as well. If you look at the CGI, that had all those little kind of groove sections, which is nice. Hips move forward and back. The back kind of gets a little bit limited because of this, but you can move that back and you can kick that out. In and out, they rotate right above the knee. They bend at the knee. There is no ankle tilt, but you can see that the legs are positioned for a wide open spread like that. And then I guess you could kind of say that the toes are articulated. Now, you kind of have to do a little thing. So you're going to get them like this, kind of bend the knee a little bit to kind of, if you have them straight, it's going to have his legs considerably far back like that. I'm not a big fan of that. So I kind of bring those forward and then bend the knee a little. Get it? Bend the knee. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, you probably got that reference. And then to kind of balance them out a little bit more, I just take the feet and instead of having them all the way up like that, kind of bend them down. Now, it does create a little gap right there, but the look is a little bit better and you can get him a little bit less leaning forward-ish. So I like keeping his thighs as straight up and down as possible. So that does require you to bend his knees, but I don't think it really looks all that bad. I'm perfectly okay with it. He does obviously have the backpack. I don't think it's all that bad. I do wish that it could lock in some way as opposed to just kind of sit there, but again, doesn't really bother me too terribly much. But a stellar looking figure. The detail just blows me away. In the really glossy red paint, absolutely gorgeous. Now for his transformation back, we're going to take these off. You're going to want to bend these there and set that off to the side. Come down here, we're going to start with the feet. Take these little side bits here. You want to pull those away. And then rotate that out and around. Come down here, kind of get that out, and then separate that, kind of pull this back section, and then rotate the tire around, get that out of the way, and then take this piece here, fold that up, and then this is going to rotate around on that ball joint so you fill in that gap right there. Now this, you do have to be a little bit tricky. They're careful with it. Bend this down a little. That part of the foot is going to go through that gap right there. So then bring that down, give that a push. That locks that kind of right there along that side. So again, do that on this side. Separate that. We're going to pull this piece away. That tab's in there really securely now. There we go. Rotate that out. You can fold that piece out, and that's going to spin around. We'll play with that here in a bit. Rotate the back section of the leg. And then again, fold that down. This piece, rotate this around, lining all of that up there. And then fold this down. You have a little tab. Let's see if I can show you this. You got a little tab right here that's going to slot into a section right here by the tire. So again, bring that down and give that a nice little push. And then you have the foot going right into that little cavity right now. And bring this together and get this as straightened as possible. And then you can attach this here. It's on a little hook thing, so you can hook it in if you want, or just kind of push it together. It doesn't really matter what you want to do. And then squeeze that back section together as well. Go ahead and take these little bits. If you haven't, you can tuck those in like that. Take these little side bits. You're going to bring these down. They also do have a little tab and hole section right there, so make sure that you get that all the way pushed in. Do that on this side as well. You'll feel it kind of slot in there just like that. Then take this, open the chest piece on both sides, and then kind of straighten that out, and then pull that away. You want to have this like that. So bring that up, and then pull this piece out like so. Kind of straighten out his head. Take these, open those up, then come around here to the back, pull this away, and then you can rotate this whole torso section. Oh, let's see. It's a little bit easier to detach the waist. Mine tabs in very nicely. I know that some people were complaining about that. Mine tabs in fairly securely, so just don't worry too much about that. I don't think it's a common problem. And then bring that back, and then you want to take the head section and rotate that down like so, where he's going to be looking downward. You can bring this up and line all this up along the side. Gonna get that there. Oh, sorry. Pull this piece out, and then bring that there, and you're gonna fit all of this here. So that's kind of where you want that. Bring this up. That's going to extend all the way up. You can bring this top piece together. Bring that, and then give that a good squeeze. Locking that in, and then bring these arms in. So you kind of want to lift and then slot in. So again, bring these back, kind of pull it away, push it all the way in, and then line up those tabs. Then bring this all the way down. Then on the inside here are some tabs that are going to connect his wrists. So you want to keep the forearms, or I'm sorry, yeah, keep the forearms together, and then you got little posts. You'll see them when you're transforming them. There's some posts on the underside here that he holds with his fist. So squeeze that all the way in there, squeeze that all the way in, keep all that squeezed just like so. Then you're going to bring this all down, keep these bits here, then bring that down, and then you line this up, and then just push down along the side here. Get this out of the way. Let's bring this all the way up, collapse that. Oh, see, be careful. Got to make sure that these stay out. There you go. And collapse that down. That tabs in, that tabs in, and then yeah, just make sure that you're being careful on the side here and push all this stuff down, squeezing that in nicely along the sides. Let's check this side. Everything should be lined up fairly easily. And then, there we go. Did that? Yeah. Keep that in. Give this a good squeeze. Give that a good squeeze. Keep everything like that. Squeeze everything there. Again, you can push that down there. Now this, you're going to want to line this up. So you take that little post and you just slide it right inside there. And then you got little tabs here that connect to the underside. So swivel that up. And again, give that a good little squeeze along that side. Do that on this side and get that squeezed up a little bit more. And then this, again, put that in there. Make sure that that's fully collapsed in. that in, and then just line that up on the underside as best as you can. Push up. There we are. And there you have Sentinel Prime back in his vehicle mode.
Now, I don't know if it was because Leonard Nimoy voiced this character, who, in case you don't know, also voiced the character of Galvatron in the original '86 animated movie. But there was something very special about Sentinel Prime. As I said in the beginning, Sentinel did what he did because he wanted to save his race. He felt that the Autobots and Decepticons were always going to be fighting. So to preserve his planet, he made a deal with the Decepticons. Definitely not a good guy thing to do, but that character trait really is something that can make you understand why he's doing what he did. And it made him believable as a villain. In my opinion, even more so than Megatron in the live action films. Megatron just seemed to want to do what he did because he's Megatron. Sentinel had a conflict within him, which really did come across, I felt. So it's amazing that we finally have a figure that I feel does that character justice. The original Leader and Voyager figures were good toys, but now, 11 years later, improvements to design and technology have made it so they could take those good toys and improve upon them and give us an even better one. Vehicle mode wise, this guy looks terrific. I did forget that you kind of have to lift these little bits up. I forgot to do that, but the only part that's really lacking, I would say, on this would be the lack of a swivel on this, but it never really swiveled in the movie, so I guess it doesn't really matter all that much. But that still would have been a nice extra detail. But when you consider how many other little small details are put into this, I guess I can ignore it. Transformation on him actually is really very cool. There's some fun stuff that happens with him. It is fairly simple, like most of the Studio Series figures are. But the transformation is still satisfying, in large part because we get to a robot mode that looks beautiful. The paint, the sculpt work, the overall aesthetic and design of him to do the best that they can to recreate how he looked on screen is all absolutely outstanding. Like I said, he was a very believable villain, and it's so great to finally have a toy that kind of lives up to that amazing performance. This guy's up there. He may be one of my favorite Studio Series figures that we've gotten. It also might be just because I'm a huge Leonard Nimoy fan, but you know, whatever. I cannot recommend him enough to you guys. He is well worth adding to your collection. Despite the fact that he is lacking some accessories, he's still a great and worthy toy. So, all that being said, if this version of Sentinel Prime is a figure that you would like to add to your collection, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, you can make it really easy on yourself and stay self-quarantined by ordering it online at places such as Big Bad Toy Store or Amazon. For those places, I'll put links right down in the video description where you can go there and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate it, guys, if you would do one small thing for me. And that's simply just to hit that thumbs up button. That one very small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, I want to send a huge shout out to my patron, Adam, who through his direct support has made this review possible. And if you guys would like information on how you can become a patron and help support my channel such as Adam, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/optibotimus. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.